Hello, I'm Yoko Shioya, Artistic Director at Japan Society. Thank you so much for joining our Performing Arts Season Opening program, Reiko Yamada Sound Installation on Silent Movies. While we missed the opportunity to meet each one of you in our home theater in Manhattan, we are still thrilled to offer the first time of the virtual presentation season. The exciting lineup in this fall and winter features outstanding artists. That is, in addition to this program's Reiko Yamada, we will have Tara Ahmadinejad, Satoko Ichihara, Mansai Nomura, and Kuro Tanino. Their artistic creativity is really limitless. Even the social distancing ruled environment has empowered them in their innovation. Please check it out our website and our digital brochure at www.japansociety.org/performingarts. Now, we are about to watch a few Japanese silent films made in early 20th century. They will be accompanied by music and sound composed and performed by Reiko Yamada. She's actually in Barcelona. You know, a good thing about the virtual program is that we can work with artists anywhere on the planet, and we can introduce their work to the audience anywhere on the world. A program note is available in PDF file. You can download it by clicking the link in the description for this YouTube video, or look for the link in the reminder email you've received yesterday and today. Without further ado, let's switch this camera to Barcelona. I guess Reiko is ready by now. So see you later at the post-performance discussion Q&A with Reiko. Please enjoy.
Thank you, Yoko, and thank you for tuning in. Tonight, I'm presenting you a very special program that features 3 Japanese silent films between 1900 to 1932, as well as beautiful antique broken accordions and modern-day analog synthesizers. For those of you who do not know me well, I am a composer and sound artist. Normally, I myself do not play my own compositions. However, like many people, the pandemic has forced me to work in a completely different manners for last several months. Tonight, I myself will be performing my compositions from my own home studio, and I am so grateful to have this opportunity to share this experience with you from my most intimate space. The format of this performance is modeled after film screening in a theater with a live musician from good old days. As you can imagine, there are many difficulties trying to present this format in a computer screen space. So I had experimented multiple ways to do this for each film with my production assistant. You might feel more familiar or natural for some than others, but I hope you find them interesting. The first film, Development of Train, was made in 1932. Although it was originally made for children's educational purpose, the film is both informative and poetic in a way that made me imagine the time that the train was first developed, and how people's travel has been dramatically affected then. I will feature the old and broken accordion from over the 100 years ago to accompany this film. The second film is a documentation of sumo matches from 1900. I was shocked to see how different the wrestlers and the matches were from today's. Although the original film is not in the best condition, the wrestlers' movements are vivid and the matches are very exciting to watch. I hope you will be intrigued to watch it as much as I find it. The last film from 1931 is an equivalent to today's music video. Haru no Uta, Spring Song, has been and still performed in a theater dance performance in Japan. Technically, this is not really a silent film, as the audio for the silent film had been added much later. I will broadcast the original film with the added music first, followed by the version with my own music. Working with these 3 films, I thought a lot about how much of our lives have changed since the pandemic. Today, many of us are forced to recreate a new relationship with traveling and attending live events. And these films with themes of train, live event, and music made me already miss creating a work for live audience, which is a very special place where we can together create a collective experience. But for a meanwhile, I tried hard to create pieces that work for this online environment. However, to be honest, at the same time, I'm personally fed up with looking at the computer screen all the time these days, either for work, for meeting, and for entertaining ourselves. Although I cannot totally get rid of screen for this performance, I have made small musical breaks in between films. You are encouraged to stay away from the screen in those short musical breaks. Close your eyes, lay on the ground, do some drawings or anything that can give you a break from the screen during those breaks. When the music finishes from these breaks, that is when you are invited back to the screen. I think it will be clear. Finally, I understand that there are many performances online for free these days. You have shown a real support for the performance arts community that are especially struggling quite a bit these days by purchasing the tickets for this show. I would really love it if you can join us for the Q&A after the show, or if you can leave a comment, or if you are too shy to leave a comment in a public space, send me a personal email so that I know that you were here with us. I will start now. To summarize, it will be the first film, musical break, the second film, musical break, the third film, followed by Q&A. I hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, Yoko Shio again. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoy the performance. So now is the time for Q&A, as I earlier mentioned, and I would bring Reiko in very soon. The I prepared some questions and then I will start with this Q&A session, but please join me. Don't be shy. Please join me by using the chat of the YouTube. And in case you don't see the chat box, well, where's the chat? And then probably you are watching on a computer screen and full screen. So get out from the full screen and you see the chat box. So now let me connect myself to Reiko in Barcelona. Hold on. Hi, Reiko-san. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you so much for wonderful performance.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure. I'm so glad to bring you in for our opening program in 2024 season. So actually, I have some questions, and then I hope that I'm not going to take up all the time because I really would like to audience to join our conversation. But let me start with which one that I should start? Well, maybe I should start with a question to you about your relationship with accordion. Well,
You mean the relationship to my broken accordions?
yes. So let me ask you first an easy question. How many broken accordions do you have?
Well, it depends on which instrument you call it broken. So, for example, this one that I have here is, I would say 90% broken at this point. And this one is all functional except they are slightly out of tune. Some pitches are out of tune. So I think in total I own 3, and this is the one that actually does not belong to me.
Are you collecting and do you need more?
I didn't mean to collect them, but what happened was when I was staying for a long time in small town in Mississippi called Water Valley, I met this man. He is, I would say, an unofficial king of the town. His name is Snooky Williams, and he had a collection of broken accordions. And he did not collect them, but somebody gave them to him. So one day he told me to come to his office, and he showed me all these beautiful antique accordions, but they're all broken. And he said that I am a composer, I could take one of them and try with it. The thing is that I took this accordion, and when this one came home with me, I felt so attached to it, and it almost felt like this is some kind of living creature, but it's really, really injured. And first I tried to fix it, and I called in some places. Then I realized that to fix an accordion is a very expensive thing to do, because you basically have to make you basically have to ask for custom made parts now that most of the accordion makers are out of business. So then as a composer, I thought that, well, maybe I can use all these broken notes to create a new compositions. In some way, this is the way to, I guess, get these old accordions, the broken ones, to shine one more time on the stage. And this process was documented in a film called 85% Broken by Blue Magnolia film. But this was, I would say, 6 years ago. So now I think I would say that this is 90% broken.
So the documentary film about your relationship with accordion is available on YouTube somewhere, right?
I think so. YouTube and also on Vimeo, and it's called 85% Broken.
Yeah, well, some of you should check it out. Another question that I have is that actually, what was the difference between, I mean, when you wrote the music, what was your consciousness difference between consciousness of the presentation to be on the in the theater to the actual audience, human beings there. Whereas, we present this one online. When you wrote the music, how affect you to whatever decision making that you needed to make a decision?
To be completely honest with you, this was an extremely difficult project for
Mm,
me. I've never written music for a screen space. And so as I was composing, usually I can feel some kind of connection with the audience already. But this time I did not know how to do that. So the only
mm,
thing I tried to do was kind of interpreting the films and relationships to the film and the music in very different ways for each film,
mm,
and just to hope that maybe one of them would speak to the audience.
mm,
And in the same way, working with this screen space was extremely difficult.
mm,
As you can see, that it's this the size of the screen is not very accommodating to have two frames, one for the film and one for myself. So we tried variety of ways to fit these two frames and to see
mm,
maybe this would give kind of I don't know, the interesting flavors to
mm.
the viewers at least.
Well, when we discussed which film to go, and then you said that, well, I would like to have this train thing, and then you mentioned that accordion and trains are getting well. And then I had no idea what you meant by that. And then when I watched this one, and then I said, oh, I see, it's like a shh kind of thing, and then also pricking sound. And that was really, well, it's kind of another characteristics, totally unknown characteristics of the accordion. But when you mention that, well, they are getting along with you, originally have that idea that how to make the sound using accordion as not as a conventional accordion way.
Yes, true. And especially with this very old accordion here, the bellow of this accordion is very old, so that air leaks a bit, and this gives
Mm,
another special sonority to make you imagine maybe a steam engine or some kind of mechanics. And I really love that texture. And
mm,
also visually, somehow, if you're looking at the bellows of these accordions, it somehow makes you think about this all this old technology. Well, the train is not really old technology, but somehow it really resembles. And I asked my technician to really film it closely, so
mm.
that we can have this image of the train and the accordion up close side by side.
I see. Well, actually, one of the other question came as why were these three films selected? So I guess that the partially you answered already that the well, accordion train, that is a one to go. But then how did you pick up? Actually, we originally, when we were talking about the theatrical presentation, not on on this online thing, I first originally suggested you, how about comedy? And then you said, no, 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 no comedy. So I think that you have some image. What would be good for your composition? What is good for your performance? So what is the criteria to select these three movies?
I think if any composer is watching this right now, he or she would immediately agree with me. I think to write music for comedy is extremely difficult. We would
Mm,
prefer usually a horror movies, and we can use very experimental sounds, as Takemitsu did a lot with his, I think, over 100 film scores. And yeah, I was actually looking for horror films within the collection that we had, the films that I was supposed to choose from, but there was not even one horror film in there. So then I looked at films that speaks to me at this very special time, and I think I connected a lot with things that we cannot do right now. And that I think I mentioned in my program notes, but traveling and going to attend live performances or sports events, and especially this film of small matches. I mean, it is extremely special. I think that we can see these matches from 1900, and it really made me imagine how exciting it was for people to go and watch these matches live, and how much I miss performing live these days. So I think that's one of the reasons.
Some of the audience might be wondering how she find out those films. Actually, they are all listed on National Film Archive, and actually these three films that we use is the possession from Kobe Planet Film Archive. If you're interested in, you should visit their website, and then plenty of silent films are there. So anyway, next question is probably a little tough question or difficult to answer. What was your process of creative process of this project? I'm curious too. I mean, selection and how to compose probably might be not really 1, 2, 3 process, but then how could you explain about that process?
That's a very good question. I think all three films I had very different process. And the only thing I knew from the beginning was that I wanted to do something very different for each film. So I think for Train, I started off by figuring out what would be the best sound for each scene, and which instrument would fit better. So I have two accordions here, and I have two analog synthesizers and one digital synthesizer. So I wanted to do a bit of orchestration in that film, as this was the longest film. And the sumo one, I wanted to really feature the film itself, because I find it so exciting to watch it. So that's I knew that I wanted to have something like a drone in the background, so that it does not take too much of the attention from the film itself. And I wanted to gradually change the texture of this drone to fit more or less the each match. And I don't know how successful I was. So,
I
and
think it was very
Haruno,
successful. I think it was very successful.
you're very kind. And the Harunota, the last one, as this was a pop music and there was a bit light feeling to it, I tried to collaborate with the actual song by adding something to it. And it was actually pretty much improvised. So yeah, I hope you like it.
Yeah. Well, talking about the Harnota, there is one question about the Harnota. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, Harnota. What was it the short to be screened before a future film? Who made it? Who made it is actually explained in the program notes that you can download from our the program notes that you can download from this site. And was it a short to be screened before the featured film? Is that kind of segment of other films? That I think that is what it meant to question you.
Well, I don't know the answer to this question, but I read that this song was extremely popular at that time. And to this day, this song is still performed before the dance performance in, I don't know which company, I don't know exactly, but this is something that people like to play as introduction to a dance performance. But I don't know about this particular video, how this was published. I mean, it says Colombia, so I assume that they published it together with when the record came out.
I see. So another question is really even big question about you as an artist and creator, composer. What is your inspiration in music making in general? Wow.
Wow, this is
Yeah, but then your the music making scope of your music making is really wide. You use like you make the sheet music and improvisation and the conventional music instruments or broken accordion or analog synthesizer. So I think that's really a big question, but then actually genuine question.
I think like many people, I like to find things that makes me excited. So if I repeat myself, then I started to get a little bit bored with myself. So
Mm.
I try to pick up something that I'm not so good at sometimes, and I try to learn new things, and then I end up with kind of venturing into a very different medium or very different field, and therefore sometimes body of my work is not very coherent.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know if I answer your question, but in this case with broken accordions, living in this small town, Mississippi, really, really influenced me. I met some very interesting people, and these instruments were given to me. And as soon as one of the instruments came to me, I knew that I have to do something with it.
Mm. Well,
Right.
since you mentioned about the Mississippi, a more personal question. When I when I first met you, I asked you, so where do you live? And then you said, well, I am like a nomado. And then that time, so then I asked the question. So then, where is your address that you use for tax return? And then you said that the Mississippi, and then now you are in Barcelona. What is the being a composer and being Japanese, living in the Mississippi and living in Barcelona now?
Yes, I mean, it's just very hard to be a freelance composer. So I just do whatever I can to make it happen. And that usually means that I have to move in every 3 to 12 months to new places.
Wow.
And I don't know how long I can continue to do this, but this way I can just continue doing what I love doing. So,
Mm.
yes, it's.
So, actually, we are running out of time. So, next is last question. I will pick up the audience question. Do modern Japanese watch silent films with live music?
I think you might be a better person to answer this question.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, the idea to ask you to do this is a kind of tradition of Japan that the live music with a silent movie was like a benshi and talking and the shamisen music and stuff like that. But how about you, your experience? Have you ever done with although that was me that the film asked you, would you like to do the silent film? I mean, a composition and the performance with a silent movie. But have you ever done that before?
Actually, I kind of started off as a composer, trying to do something like that when I was in high school with a bunch of friends. We created this little film, and I played live for that work. So I feel very comfortable working with this visual projection, I
Mm,
think.
yeah.
But working with accordion is a completely different
Mm.
story.
So you didn't meet with accordion then when you were in high school yet.
No, I think we spoke about this before, but that's there are some people who really love accordions and some people who really do not like accordions.
Mm.
And
well, I hope that this program makes more fun of instruments of accordion. So anyway, thank you so much, Reiko. And we can't really make you physically the applause, but then I hope that the audience join me for applause to her. And to the audience, I would like to remind you that this entire thing, including this Q&A session, has been video recorded. So it'll be available anytime now to November 4th. November 4th. So please tell your friends, colleagues, family members, and then put this information to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, text, phone call, and of course in person. It's a very precious thing these days. So that's it for today, and then I hope to see you soon again for Performing Arts program in November. November 18th is coming up, next one. And at the same time, please check our website, www.japansociety.org/performing arts. Thank you so much, Reiko. Bye-bye.